sorry, I forgot I had something on that thing.
Not a problem.
Hi, how are you doing, Georgette?
I'm good. How are you, Trev?
I'm good.
Good, good.
Yeah, I just, yeah, that's right. John can't make it today, so you're leading, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
I actually invited a couple people from circulation staff to join our meetings, if anything.
Terrific. Terrific. Yeah, we don't have a huge agenda today. Um, I'll share it here and let me pull it up.
Keep forgetting that I shouldn't be seeing blurry.
Oh, yeah.
When I have my glasses on, and then I realized, oh, it's because I touched the lens, and that's
Oh no.
blur.
I've done the same thing. I go to reach, put them on in the morning, and my fingers go right
Right.
on the lens. Yeah.
Have you guys gone to the new version yet? 24.11?
No, we go on the 3rd.
Us too.
Yeah. So I haven't done the webinars yet. I need to do that. I'm so far behind.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I always do the new or the what's coming webinar, but I get really discouraged with it. They don't always show us everything, and then they always have to stop and tell you how to set it up. And those of us in circ don't do that.
Yeah.
So I would like them to just do a video that said these are the things that are coming.
Yeah. I've noticed though that so we're doing like a couple of the enhancements that, like, for example, like language pack and what do you call it? The self checkout module. You know, there's like a self checkout module. I've noticed that some of their instructions need to be updated on the Bywater site, because there's some,
Really?
like, especially on Wiki, there's some SQL that just don't work at all or anymore.
Right.
Some of them do say incomplete, but yeah, I think we need to do a request to Bywater to maybe look at some of their old instructions and maybe do an update, especially on the Wiki.
Okay.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, good morning, Charlie.
Georgia,
Good morning, Tina.
That's someone from SLO County.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. I'm Georgette Rogers from Liberty Lake.
Excellent. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Oh, and Chip's here. Hi, Chip.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hey. Hi. This is my first circulation SIG meeting I've attended. So yeah, so go easy on me, okay?
It's the first one I've led, so go easy on me.
Okay. All right. It's a deal.
Okay.
Wait, so am I usually seeing you in sysadd? Like, I'm forgetting, because I see you at least once a month, I feel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
System admin usually.
Okay.
Acquisitions sometimes.
That's you. Yeah.
This is my first day back at work after being out on medical leave for most of the past couple of months. So.
Oh, goodness.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
So
yeah, I'm getting back in the groove.
Good.
Hope everything goes smoothly for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm in the break room, so I'm getting water. If we have any complaints about our building, it's our walls in our offices don't go to the ceiling. So you can't really have meetings in your office. Because you can hear, everybody can hear you and you can hear everybody. So I came into the break room because the meeting room was busy. You'll see at the beginning of the recording that I'm moving. So it's 10:30. We'll give just a few more minutes to, Margaret, you're muted if you're saying.
I was just saying our mics
Oh.
turned off. That's
it. So we'll give people a few more minutes and then we'll get started. We don't have a huge agenda. I do have it up. Where did I put it? I was sharing the screen and now I've lost my agenda. There's my agenda. So we don't have a lot to cover today.
Just for curiosity's sake, and so we can get to it at the end of the meeting, if anything, could we, if there's anyone already on 2411, if we can ask them about their experiences, because I just want to know what to look out for next week.
Sure, absolutely. Hi, Jason. Okay, so it's 10:31. We'll give it one more minute and then we'll get started. Okay, got a couple more people coming on. Okay. Go ahead and get started. We can do introductions. I'm Georgette Rogers from Liberty Lake. I am co-chair and John is not here today, so he's asked me to lead the meeting, so be gentle. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Tina. I am in San Luis Obispo, California. And this is Kara, also there in Atascadero, specifically at Atascadero Library.
Welcome.
Margaret Kinsinger-Klopfer and Brett Bowers. We're also with County of SLO, San Luis Obispo in California.
Michael Badalamenti from the County of San Luis Obispo Public Libraries.
Well, Chip Halvorsen from Westlake Porter Library in suburban Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm Dorothy Gritz. I'm at San Luis Obispo downtown branch.
I'm Adam. I'm from Ocean State Libraries in Rhode Island.
That's where we're having the conference.
Yeah, I'm Charlie. I'm also from SLO.
I'm Jason. I work at the Southeast Kansas Library System in Southeast Kansas, Iowa, Kansas specifically.
And I'm Wally Deschamps at Prosper Community Library in Texas.
Hi, Wally. Okay. So our agenda today was actually kind of small. If we have any announcements, we can go ahead with that. Okay, well, if we want to move forward, if anybody's got anything that they're experiencing or want to talk about or have moved to 2411. I know I put one thing on the agenda and I don't know if anybody else is having issues, but I'm noticing that with the version we have now, we're struggling with adding patrons. It takes the birth date out and it changes things here and there. So I didn't know if anybody else was having problems or if it's our computer system.
Are you still on 2405, Georgette?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We go to
I haven't,
2411 next week.
yeah, we are too. I haven't had any complaints, but that doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah, it's a weird little glitch, and you put the birth date in, and you can put like 09/19/1967, and it either takes it out or it only puts in like the 19 and the 19 or something. It's not putting in a full birthday, so then you have to back it up and do it again, and the address is kind of doing the same thing. So
So you're manually typing in the birth dates instead of using the calendar. Yeah, I know that those calendar pickers can be pretty finicky sometimes.
yeah, yeah. So I didn't know if anybody else was having any issues or if it was just a problem. We're having some computer issues here. They're getting us new ones, so I didn't know if it was just us. So does anybody else have anything? I'm sorry, we don't have much of an agenda. John gave me the agenda and it wasn't. We have bugs. Let's see, we're talking about bugs. Let me get back there. Bugs, and any topics that we covered, last month, or any announcements. That's pretty much our agenda. So if anybody's got anything they'd like to discuss, the floor is open.
I can talk a little. We've been testing the Koha's built-in self-checkout system here and ran into some issues. I do have a bug number, but I don't have a bug number because I can't get Bugzilla to work for me this morning. It just spins and spins and spins. But it has to do with the CSRF tokens and those 403 errors that we get when the logins get offset. We found that with the self-check specifically, if it hits one of those token errors, it takes it outside of the self-check system with no way back in. So patrons would get confused and frustrated and then start clicking around, and they couldn't use the self-check anymore. So there's a bug to try and resolve that. And if I can get the bug number, I will post it in the chat.
And that's coming in the new version?
No, that's already here. We're using what's already in Koha.
Where is it? I didn't even know about it.
You may not have it turned on in your system.
Probably not. Okay, we probably don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we haven't talked about it in our consortia, so.
No,
I
but-
did. Sorry, go ahead, Charlie.
Oh, no, I'm just trying to find the bug that you're talking about so I can put it in the chat, but what exactly, I see a couple of the self-check-in, like tool, for example, does not trigger holds, should provide automatic logins.
I can't remember what it is. I'm really frustrated that I can't use Bugzilla. Like, I feel like my hands are cut off.
I will put them
I
all.
don't use it. I don't do bugs, so I don't use it. I should know more about what's going on, but I'm busy enough here. Do we have any circ people going to the conference this year? I'm going.
Wait, are we talking about the one in New Zealand?
Nope, the one in the one in Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, can't go to New Zealand, unfortunately.
Oh, right.
I'd like to, but yeah, no, not in the budget.
I'm planning on going to hopefully both conferences. We'll see.
Oh, good. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be in Providence. Can't wait.
Yep. I know. Same here. I'll definitely be there as well.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I always like the fact that
I'll be there,
we have-
obviously.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go early, like on Saturday before, and spend some time in the area, just having a good time.
Yeah, we're gonna do the same. So, I don't have a lot of time on either end because I got a vacation right after that. So it's like get to Rhode Island, do the conference, turn around and come back, have one day to wash and repack and go on vacation. So no, we have a SIG meeting usually at the conference, and I'd like to see a little bit longer one this year, but I think that's a good time for all of us to chat and, kind of find out what's happening and what people are doing and workarounds. And
be sure to let the conference committee know that, so as they're planning, because I agree with you, we did the round table, we did the thing, and that was excellent. It gave good exposure, but I think to the different SIGs and groups, but there might be some time where we have an introduction time like that, and then go into more a meeting time or something.
Yeah, I'm going to mention that I'm on the conference committee, as you know, so I liked the speed dating, as they called it, that we kind of did, but we didn't get a chance. We had some people that were just new to Koha and they wanted to chat, and it was like 5 minutes and then we had to move, and they just didn't feel they got, enough information on what they're like, how do you work this particular section? How do you work damage review or damaged items? And, because they were doing it one way and we were doing it another, like, oh, that's cool. And then about then it was time to change. And
Georgette, that was actually me. And that's part of why San Luis Obispo County is here, because we're fairly new to Koha. And part of what the conversation at that SIG meeting was that we had kind of adopted a lot of procedures and policies when we were using a different software, and then came over to Koha and kind of shoved our procedures and policies into Koha, rather than learning how other Koha users are leveraging the software and writing workflow and procedures with the software. And so one of the things that I think some of us in the circulation department are interested in is maybe seeing how other people are doing some of those procedures. And I don't know the best way to do that, if that's here at a SIG meeting, or maybe we're in the process of writing our user manual, and maybe other people out there have user manuals that we can read and review and see how other people are doing things. That would be.
Sorry to interrupt you. I actually am working on I have a procedure manual written, and I'm, I call it a living document because it's constantly changing. I'm also writing one for the circ supervisor. So I hope to retire in 4 years. I don't say plan, I say hope. So I'm also writing one for the circ supervisor. I'd be more than happy to share what I've got, and how we do everything from, I've got everything from how we do our deposits to how we, pay our fines, to how we do our damage reviews, and, and of course, everybody's going to do it different, but I'd be more than happy to share.
That would be extraordinarily helpful.
Yes. You got it. You got it. Shoot me an email.
Will do.
I put a link to ours in the chat. Sure.
But yeah, and that's why I like the round table, because we can talk about things. We have some time to, to talk about. I wish you're in California. I wish I could come down there or help you out.
We wish so too. It's beautiful here.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah.
San Luis Obispo.
Anyone who wants 71 degrees in February should come help us.
Okay, I think I should come help you. I'll talk to my boss. I'll see if maybe I could slip down there for a couple of days and see if I might be able to help you out. I'm not an expert, but I've been working Koha for a while, and we've, got our policies and our procedures. So I'd be more than happy in one way or another, even if we do a Zoom meeting or, something, I'd be more than happy to do that. That's one of my favorite parts of the job, is working with others in trainings and things like that. Anybody else have anything?
Jason, I just want to say thank you. We just pulled up your manual, so thank you for sharing that.
It's
Oh yeah, Jason's
beautiful.
got a good one.
We're oohing and awing already.
I will still be more than happy to share mine. Everybody, you know, every procedure is different, so you know.
Yeah, you will find some weird local stuff that we do in there, but
Yeah,
it does have some general workflows as well.
Same here.
Well, I think too, we don't know what we don't know. So seeing how multiple people are doing it is fantastic. Because it may be that like, oh wait, we like doing it this way, but then some of the other things. So that's excellent.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. But has anybody moved to 2411? Or seen anything that's coming in 2411?
Our test server is upgraded, so I've been poking at it a little bit, but
I wondered if you had it.
Yeah, we were just looking at kind of the list of changes that were coming. We don't do bookings, and it seemed like a lot of it had to do with bookings, but I don't know if people noticed something else that we should be aware of. That's a big change.
I noticed a lot of the bookings as well, and yeah, we don't do bookings, we don't do reservations, you know, anything. I didn't feel there was a lot of circ updates coming.
I think it was mostly acquisitions because there's a lot, like a big overhaul with acquisitions module.
Yeah. Yeah, and I noticed there were a few cataloging changes too.
Two things that we were really excited about is that there is a preferred name field, which is coming. So we use currently the legal name fields to put in information about patrons who use a chosen name if they're undergoing a transition. But the preferred name field we can now use for somebody who chooses to go by Dennis instead of Wayne or whatever that is. Kind of looking forward to that feature. And then we're also looking at the automatic restrictions for accounts when SMS and email notices fail. That will kind of help us with the cleanup of patron accounts and updating their contact information.
We'll have to take a look at that one. Is anybody using the auto renew function, and how is it working if you are?
We use auto renew.
Yeah.
And it's working fine for us. We've used it from day one, almost 2 years ago.
Do you run into any issues with lost items or anything? I'm assuming they can't renew anything like that. Or does it automatically renew lost items?
It will not renew lost items. If the status, depending on the status, it only renews things that are eligible to be renewed, meaning that there are no holds on them and they're holdable, they're renewable materials.
Okay. We turned it off, but I'm wondering if that's something that
It also takes any patron restrictions into account also. So if the patron in the meantime, you know, encounters a lot of fines or they have long overdue materials, it will stop the renewal automatically.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting ready to hopefully go to that. And I'm looking forward to it because it's instead of people writing in, calling in, can you renew a book for me? You know, whatever. I'm over it.
We don't mind.
Do people mind sharing how many times they allow their items to renew at their library systems? Because that's a discussion we're having.
Sure. We renew twice.
We allow 2 renewals.
We allow 1 because we're just such a small library and our physical collection is not as robust as bigger libraries, so we don't have multiple copies.
I think we allowed 1 We allowed one up until about a year ago.
We allowed twice as well.
Our library system has the automatic renewal in place, and we have 5 renewals.
Oh, wow.
We are in the process of talking about limiting that to 3 renewals. Sounds like that kind of aligns with what you guys are currently doing. I have to say, I do love the automated renewal process, and so do our patrons.
Something we have to talk about in our consortium. We're in the middle of a name change of our consortium, so we're not talking too much about, you know, what changes we want to make to Koha at the moment. So, but yeah, we do 2, and we find that 2 works well. Every so often, I make an exception to the rule if it's for a class. We have a school that sometimes has the kids check out the items for a semester, which is 3 months. So it gets just to that second renewal, and then they need it for just a little bit longer to do their reports. That's the only time we run into, oh, it'd be nice to have longer, but you know, the books are already off the shelf for 3 months. We need to get them back into circulation. So I admit I wanted just to keep my 1 renewal, but the consortium went to 2. So
how long is your loan period, just in general?
We do 4 weeks, 1 week for movies and magazines, 2 weeks for the videos that are the entire series, like a Yellowstone or Wayne Calls a Heart or something. If we have the entire series, it's 2 weeks. We used to do 2 weeks on our new books, but we've bumped it up to 4 weeks.
What did you find that made you make that decision on new materials?
I think just a lot of people needed renewals, or they, I think that was the big thing, was just 2 weeks wasn't long enough. And a couple of the libraries in the consortia had a 1 week on new items, and they said that is just not long enough. Some of these new books are thick, and people couldn't read them in 2 weeks' time. So we moved it up to the standard 4 weeks. Now we do shorten time limit if there's a lot of holds on an item. The system will automatically shorten it to 14 days. So that, you know, and we tell people this is 14-day, you got to get it back. We got holds on it. But we just found that 2 weeks was not enough, especially like, let's say Ken Follett's book. I mean, when that one came out, that was a 2-week book, and people were like, 2 weeks, I'm only, you know, 40 or 50 pages in, because there's so much in there. And because of the, you know, the constant patrons saying, hey, this is not long enough, we just moved it up to 4 weeks.
So you have something in Koha that's triggered when there's a certain amount of holds that will reduce the checkout time to 2 weeks?
We do, and I'm not really the tech person, but I know they turned that on. It has to do with holds ratio. And so, yeah, so when you're checking an item out, if there's like more holds than there are items, or the items have a large amount of holds on them, and you check it out, it says this item checkout has been reduced to 14 days due to large amount of holds or something. I don't remember the exact wording, but yes, it will do that.
Does anybody else in this group have that automatic trigger on their account? Oh, that sounds really great.
Yeah, I'll see what I can find out for you.
And what is a lot of holds? I'm curious about that. Like, what's the number it triggers at?
I think it triggers at 10 or, yeah, 10 or 15. If you have like 2 or 3 copies in the system, and you have more holds than you have items, or you have maybe 20 items, but you have 100 holds. And so it will trigger the 2 weeks until it gets to the certain ratio part of it. And then it goes back to its 4-week checkout.
How do your patrons feel about that? Is this something they're used to?
It's something they're used to. We've been doing it for a couple of years, and we just tell them when we check it out, we always give them a receipt. I'm one of those people that I'm an old dog. Teaching me new tricks is a lot, you know, it's hard. I've been doing this job for about 30 years. And so I just automatically give them a receipt. I don't ask them if they want a receipt, if they want to check it online. And as I'm putting the receipt in, I just say this particular item, and I always put it on the top, and I say this one checked out for 2 weeks. There's a lot of holds on it, so I need this one back. And most of them say, great, I'll read that one first. So patrons are great about it. But we have a really great, we have great patrons anyway. We rarely get, a lot of complaints or a lot of people throwing things at us or, anything like that. So, yeah, so our patrons don't seem to have an issue as long as they know. I think that's the big thing, is that they need to know that they don't have the 4 weeks, because when they call in to renew and say, well, I'm sorry, there's a hold on that, we can't renew it. Well, I haven't even started it. If I would have known that, I could have started it,
I'd put the syspref for that in the chat. It's pretty configurable. So you get to to say the reduction period, how many holds, that sort of thing. There's several drop downs in that syspref.
Great. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, Jason's our guy here in circ to do those things. He's got a test server. He's very good. He's my go-to guy for a lot of things. Thanks for being my go-to guy, Jason.
Happy to help.
But yeah, it's a really nice system, but you really have to watch your screen, because it stops you. It's a big yellow box. Screens at you and says, "Whoa, reduced holds to 14 days."
Can I ask Georgette, what is the need for that if they can't renew, or if an item has a hold on it, then why would they need to have well, I guess you're shortening it from 4 weeks to 2 weeks.
Right.
Okay.
So that it can circle through faster and get those holds taken care of.
Yeah, we have consistent, it's 14 days regardless of anything. And so we're gonna, if we do the auto renewal, we will do then 4 weeks. It'll be 28 days. And if they had a hold on it, then it would not auto renew. So that's why I was asking. So that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, the consortium made that decision when we went to the 4-week checkout for new items, that that way we could keep things circulating on the holds and people aren't sitting on the holds list for a long time.
How long how long is your hold period? Like, how long do you give patrons to pick up the items at your branch?
5 working days, and Sunday does not count because we're not open on Sunday.
We do 3 working days.
We do a week.
Yeah, I think we say 5 days. I think it ends up being kind of a week because of how our shipment falls. We do shipment on Tuesdays and Fridays. So, when with Sunday in there, sometimes it ends up being sometimes a week, sometimes 5 days, but we do 5 days. And we find that's just about the right amount of time. There's very few holds that aren't picked up.
I was going to mention.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to mention we have a 3-week loan period.
Oh, okay.
And we do the 2 renewals, so it's 3 weeks, another 3, another 3.
Yeah.
Although some of our materials like DVDs and things like that are a 1 week. So everything in our system is either 3 weeks or 1 week.
We did the 3 weeks for a lot of years, and then we bumped it up to 4. Gosh, I don't remember when. Might have been 2009 when we moved to this building that we did that. Hey, anybody else got anything?
I don't want to open up a can of worms, but I do have questions about fines and how other libraries handle them. How do you determine what the replacement price is for your items? Because we have a huge debate going on in our library.
What's your debate? What do you do?
It's pretty complicated. So especially since we weren't able to bring over as much, it's just there's too many iterations of like, okay, and our prior ILS was Sierra and it had these prices in it. We're going to add these prices in it going forward. There was a period of time where the replacement cost that was generated was not a full dollar amount, and we need to charge full dollar amounts. So we need to waive fines and recreate a new one. And right now, staff are permitted to consult Amazon for a list price replacement cost. So there's just too many steps, I think, involved, too many things to consult. And then there's the whole, we can't edit the fine anymore. We need to completely waive it and make a new one. And I feel like there has to be an easier way that's fair to the patron as well, but we haven't found it yet.
We do ours basically, whatever we bought it for, whatever the cost of what we bought it for is our cost. And then we add a $5 replacement fee basically to deal with shipping or whatever else we have to get the new item in, whether it's through, you know, Amazon or through a book vendor or whatever the case may be. But so it's just basically we enter the price in when we get the item, and we do it per item. So let's just say we get a Colleen Hoover book and it was, you know, $10. I'm just making up a number, $10 when we purchased it. A year from now or a year later, we had to replace it. We will update that price to the $12 figure for the new item. So that's whichever one we lose is the one they're going to be charged for plus $5.
We used to charge processing fee. We don't anymore, but we also do just the cost of the item when we get it. They catalog it, they put the price in. That's what we charge. Now, we as a library, and although I'm part of a consortium, each library kind of does their own thing with fines. I'm a municipal library, so I can't do a lot of waiving and, you know, forgiving and, you know, things like that without permissions. But we will do replacement copies as well. So, but it has to be a like for like. So we will tell people, if you go on, you know, if your item that you've lost is $30 and you can find the exact same copy with the exact same ISBN and it's a hardback for a hardback on Amazon or at Baker Taylor or something for say $15, we'll take the replacement for it. We don't charge fines and fees, or we don't charge overdue fines, but we charge if an item is lost or damaged. And so that's kind of our you know, how we work that. We became fines free in 2019. And it's really funny because people want to pay their fines. They keep saying, oh, I'll be happy to pay it. But so we just charge the loss or damage, but that's how we handle it, is we just go with the price that we bought it for. And you know, even if it's, you know, a year ago and it raised in price, you know, if we paid $25 for it and 25 is in the system and that's what they're charged, that's what they pay.
Has anyone done a huge project involving updating the cost, the replacement cost for a lot of items?
Yes. So we went into so we started EDI processing, ordering our materials, and for a long time we didn't have replacement costs coming over in the MARC record when we were uploading it into Koha. So we were missing a bunch. I'm sure there were a couple from like the past that didn't have replacement costs. So whenever an item came over as $0, we would send them a letter saying you owe us $0. So that was a big issue. If the field was blank, it would give them usually it would give them the default price, which was like usually more than what we paid for the book, which is what we charge people. But yeah, if you go to batch item modification, that'll be one of the things that you can use to bulk update your replacement costs. Just have your list of barcodes for the items and plug them in there, and then it'll give you the fields, and then you kind of have to give it one number if you want to use the batch item mod, like the way it's supposed to assign the price to it. But yeah, it's we're still working on it.
I was gonna say, it sounds painful. How did you find the ones that you knew needed updating? Did you run some kind of report where like this field is 0 or?
I do have a couple of reports that can, I can pop it into the chat, and so all you have to do is just copy the SQL and just dump it in your and create a SQL report there. But as far as I'm aware, wait, before I say anything more, let me just actually go in there. Replacements. Yep, replacement copy check. Find items with no replacement price. So I have a couple of those here that were created by Bywater. So I'm just gonna put the first one in, and you can have it. This is the first one. That's the one that finds items with no replacement price at all. So it won't pull any items that have the 0 in there. It'll pull anything that's empty.
Thank you. I'm so appreciative.
Oh, no
we
problem.
Need to start somewhere.
Yeah. Well, here's another one, and this is the replacement copy check. Sorry. Replacement copy check. It's saying replacement, so I haven't run it yet. I'm sure I've used it before, but that's just in case if it has anything to do with what you're working through. It's all yours. It's just replacement copy check.
We just updated all of our children's materials to change them to a graduated price based on the purchase price. So we ran a report that looked at what the purchase price was and set the price like either at $8, $13, $20, whatever. And the one thing I did notice that we ran into is when we did the batch updates, even though we did them in chunks because the different prices, we had our real-time hold queue turned on, and those updates to the replacement prices interrupted our holds queues and delayed them by like half a day. So our hold queue wasn't getting updated because it was still working on the batch updates on those item prices. So it eventually caught up, but it slowed the whole system down. And I think next time I would have turned off the real-time holds queue before I ran all those updates.
That's good to know. I'm now really scared.
It wasn't too big a deal. Like we only run our holds report twice a day anyway, but it worried me at first when I saw that it hadn't updated, and then it caught up.
So there's the replacement price. I actually had two things I wanted to ask everybody. But the first one, I guess it's more of so yesterday I ran into an issue where one of my unique patron categories, the coordinator, which is a staff librarian, reached their limit on the number of holds. The thing is, I have the number of holds for that patron category up to at least 99. They're allowed to have 99 holds at a time on their account. But when they hit 50, they got the notice again saying, oh, you've reached your limit. So I went into my circulation rules and just I made sure that it either had unlimited in the number of holds or it had 99 in the number of holds that the patron category had. But even with the changes that we were doing in real time and like the refreshing, the signing out, signing back into their account, they were still getting that you've reached 50 holds, you can't go beyond that. Has anyone run into that problem and have you fixed it? This is before I put it in as a ticket.
Did you check your system preferences? Because there's a system preference called max reserves, and ours was set to 50 by default.
Brilliant. It's called max reserve.
I think we encountered the same thing. I think it was a system preference.
Oh, found it. You are brilliant. I love it. Okay. If I leave it blank, it'll just be empty, right? I'm just kidding. I'm gonna put 99 just for fun. All right, cool. Well, that was love it. Saving patron categories one at a time.
Yes.
My other question is anybody else on Lida? I know that Jason's not. You are on Lida.
Well, the app, yes, the Lida app. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I talk to you later about like how like your experiences and stuff like that? I'm just trying to get as many
absolutely
accounts.
We are also. Yeah, we're also on Lida.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
We could do a Teams or Teams or a Zoom or something. I'd be happy to.
That would be lovely. Yes, please. Yeah. Can I have your email addresses? I'm pretty sure I have Georgette's. Actually, I don't have Georgette's.
Okay, let me get it in the
chat.
I'll put mine in the chat as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Whoops. I sent it to the wrong.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I will send you an email and then send you guys an invite for a meeting, if anything.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Anytime.
That's it for me.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? I didn't have anything other than the patron issue that I spoke about at the beginning.
I just have a quick question about one of the updates with the changes to claims returned and lost. Has anyone looked at that?
I looked at it. We don't use claims returned because it never worked for us anyway. So I need to look a little more at it because we've been getting a lot of I returned that book lately and we can't find it. But I like that it's not going to make them lost anymore because they're really not lost. They're just kind of what I call off in Neverland.
Is there anybody else that's using claims return that's taking a look at that? No. Okay.
We do.
I did take a look at some notes.
We do use it. And we did implement some of the changes, but I'm not 100% confident on it to answer questions. And Adam Young, who was here a little while ago, left. He would have probably been able to answer questions. So my email is in the chat, rpalermo. If you want to email me, I can get back to you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just a little unclear what that's going to look like with the change.
Yeah, does anybody use the claims return function now?
Yeah. So how do the libraries that don't use claims returned, how do you manage materials that patrons tell you has been returned?
Truthfully, I just make them missing. I know my patrons well, and we do a shelf check and we give them options. Well, let's renew it. Even if it's been renewed twice, I'll give them a week, to look for it again. And then we just make the item missing. And then I do have to go in and waive the lost fine. That's one thing I don't like is missing also triggers a lost fine. And so I have to go waive that. I wish it didn't, but it just kind of, for me, puts it kind of into limbo and it either shows back up or it doesn't. And then if it's been missing, we do it like 3 rounds on our holds. If an item is missing or it's been missing for say 6 months, then I go back and retrack the patron. And I do kind of a little bit of history. Is this a problem patron that I have this with and that type of thing. But I just make the item missing.
Yeah, we did the same thing. So like our system predates the claims return module. So we just never turned it on when it became a thing. So we have a lost status called claims returned, and then the libraries just notate it on like with a message on the patron's account to keep track of how often they're doing it. claims returned is on my to-do list, but my to-do list is very long. So someday we probably will enable it, but right now we're just using that lost status, and it works okay, aside from charging the replacement price, like Georgette said, adds a little extra work.
It does. I want to take a look at that more, but right now it's just not working for us. None of the libraries in Sportshare are using it. We will make a note as well. I didn't state that, but we will make a note as well.
Per the last system upgrade, claims returned has become a lot more usable for us. It used to be that you had to manually resolve the claims. Now they automatically resolve when the item gets checked in. So that has made it a lot more usable for us. We had a really weird workaround for this. The nice thing about using the claims returned feature is that it does actually count how often the patron activates that status. So you can see potential abuse, and you don't have to, we do add notes in the patron account, but even if you were not to, you could see that they've had a history of 5 claimed items or something like that. So that is one of the benefits, one of the pros of that feature.
We use oh, go ahead.
You can also set a system preference to add a message that appears on the patron account, like at 5, automatically let like circ staff know that, you know, this person has a history of claims returns, in case that impacts your interactions with them going forward, which is also helpful.
We use ours in a weird way, so I'm not gonna really, but I'm curious too how the new change is gonna affect the lost, because before we have them in the claims return status and then they go out to long overdue lost, but we have to manually switch that. And so before we were having to change them from claims returned back to available and then back over to long overdue lost. And so I'm wanting to skip that to available step, and I'm thinking this will help, but I haven't been able to figure it out without seeing it in practice.
Yeah, it sounded like that might have been part of the upgrade, so I was just wondering if anybody dug into that.
Give me a couple months to try it out.
Kristen, you were the one that said that the claims return triggers a message on patron accounts. Do you mind sharing your message that it triggers?
It's automatic in Koha, and I don't know if I remember what the system preference that regulates it, what it is. Let me see if I can look into that.
It should be that one, the claim returned warning threshold.
Is that something that can be set for a library, you know, Jason, or is it a system-wide?
It's a system preference, so it doesn't look like it's got branch specificity.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, we have our sets of 5 just for the slow people, for this preference, system preference. If anything.
Okay. Anybody else? Look, we've got a little bit more time. We got about 10 minutes. We can always end early if we need to, but if anybody's got anything else?
Does anybody have any projects that they're working on right now? They're really looking forward to implementing any whole new things?
I don't want to talk about my delivery stuff anymore.
I think you talked about it in the last meeting. So, yeah, no, it's understandable.
I did turn it on, and so what I did was I took the curbside pickups module and converted it to like an on-demand deliveries module. So patrons could say, I want that book delivered instead of I want to come pick it up. I'm sitting outside, that sort of thing. It's clunky as heck, but I did turn it on for testing in our production server for that one library that wanted it. So we'll see how it goes.
That's right. You said that you were using a couple of jQuery to get,
Yeah, it's mostly just relabeling stuff. It gets weird because like with curbside pickups, you're supposed to pick the date and then a time slot And then when you arrive at the library to pick it up, there's a button that says, "Hey, I'm here," so that they'll come out and bring it out to you. So I had to hide some things and make it a little more streamlined. And I do have a bug on that too, but who knows what that number is right now.
If you ever finish with the project, I'd love to see a presentation on it. That sounds really cool.
That'd be a cool presentation for the COA conference, Jason.
I've been trying to avoid putting in presentations this year, but we'll see.
Not even much, you can figure it out.
You work on the best projects.
You do.
Yeah.
Well, you can put the presentation together and then maybe present it as a group. See that way you don't have to present all by yourself. No, that does sound interesting. We don't do a lot of curbside anymore. We've got 2 or 3 patrons that will call us periodically. The kids are asleep in the car. Can you bring the items out to us? And we've got one that had knee surgery that, can you bring the items out? So we haven't turned on the curbside because it's kind of here and there.
I like the repurposing of the curbside. I think a lot of potential.
Yeah.
We're lucky enough to have a drive-through, so we don't need it.
Jealous.
It's nice.
I bet it is. Does anybody use the ILL function? Yeah, we don't either.
It's turned on, but it's not really. Yeah. Which one? Koha to Koha or the
Koha to Koha?
Yeah. Yeah, we were working on it for a while, but it never really went anywhere because the library we were going to share with had to do construction, so it just kind of like petered off. I guess now that they have like a new tech person and they're done with construction, maybe we will revisit it because I know it's one of the things that our admin has expressed interest in.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to look into it.
There was a ton of interest in that at the developers forum we had yesterday. So it would be a nice topic to visit with those developers. Maybe we can get Lizette and whoever else is working on it to come to like a general meeting and talk about where it's at. Because I've talked with Lizette on the side about it because we're really interested in Koha in Kansas because we've got so many consortia here. So it wasn't ready for prime time when we tested it a couple years ago, but that's the last time we've touched it.
Yeah, I might be kind of interested in that. We do the OCLC, ILLs, but it'd be nice to, maybe be able to, interact with other Koha libraries more than probably we do. We don't know who all are Koha libraries either when we, borrow from OCLC. So it'd be nice to know if it works and how well it works and, that type of thing.
Yeah, we're trying to, again, we're smaller areas, but we're trying to get not a consortia, consortium or whatever, but have like 3 libraries within a very close range of each other, be able to pseudo ILL just among the 3 of us, and that the Koha to Koha thing would be really awesome for that.
Right. Okay, that gives me some ideas. Thank you.
I will say it does sound like it's moving in the direction we wanted to see it go. When I talked to Lizette last about it, like a lot more automation. We have a statewide system that takes a lot of babysitting. Like you have to update the status at every step. So like we wanted to work like Koha because we like how Koha works. As far as sharing goes, like you put the hold on, it does everything behind the scenes. You just have to check it in and send it. So that's the point of streamlining I'd like to see it get to before we start using it here.
I'm making notes because I might try and keep up with that to see how that's going. And then just check it in. Okay. Okay. Well, we have about 6 minutes. Anybody's got anything else? If not, we can call it good until next month.
I just want to say thank you so much for sharing what you shared. That's really helpful.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
We'll try and get you down here.
Okay, sounds good. I'll talk to my boss, see what I can do. You could put in a good word for me.
Don't worry, just have them call me. I'll send them to my director. Be like, we need her here.
Okay. All right, sounds good. All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
We'll see you next month. Bye-bye.